Hello friends. So today is going to be a very interesting topic that is about DevOps with the security. So as you know, security is a very important and very crucial thing in the DevOps. When you build any pipeline or when you start any DevOps thing, security plays a very crucial role. So first of all, security is no longer an afterthought. It must be built into DevOps pipeline from day one. So in this video, I'll explain how to integrate security into CI/CD, and we'll discuss powerful security tools, and I'll show you a practical workflow example with a diagram. So first, I'm going to talk about what is Dev. Just a second. What is a DevSecOps? Okay. So when you heard about this term DevSecOps, it is a security integrated into every phase of development. Okay. That means, so when you heard about DevSecOps, first thing is it's a security integrated into every phase of development. Then second thing is why DevSecOps is important. You might know the answer because when it comes into security, so 80% of the cyber attacks, okay, 80% of the cyber attacks happen due to this misconfiguration and vulnerabilities. I'll talk about what is vulnerabilities, those things and all in detail in this vulnerabilities in software. Okay. And then what is the difference between the traditional versus DevOps security? Traditional means it's a normal DevOps, and with the DevSecOps with the security. Because DevSecOps is a shifts security left. That means it's a very crucial to maintain the security in the DevOps lifecycle. So that's what here it is. DevSecOps shifts security. I'll explain about this one again. So security integrated into every phase of deployment. What is DevSecOps? Okay. Security integrated into every phase of development. And why it is important? 80% of cyber attacks because of the misconfiguration and vulnerabilities in the software. And the last point is what is the traditional versus DevSecOps security is like. DevSecOps shifts the security to left. Okay. Now the DevSecOps in CI/CD pipeline. The question comes here is like how security integrates into each CI/CD stage, right? So have you ever thought about that one? Because you know we have different stages in DevOps, right? In CI/CD pipelines. So if you go to that, I'll show you one diagram here. So as you know, we have simply I'll draw here code, build, test. Next one is we have deploy, right? So these are the things we'll consider for doing a DevOps, correct? So how we are going to secure the process we are doing it for the deployments or in the CI/CD pipeline. Okay. So each term, each thing, whatever we are doing it here, will have a very important role, and we need to secure those process using a security tools. Okay. I'll explain you how and what are the tools we have to secure the each process in DevOps pipeline. Okay. I'll take you to one more diagram that is very interesting for you. Yes, this is what I'm just want to show you. So first of all, as you know, we have a static code. This is the code we have. Our code is running here, right? And how your code is going to be analyzed before doing to the next stages like a build process or another steps. So that's where we need to use we have a SAST. SAST is called it as a static code analysis using a SonarQube. Okay. The terms are very important when you heard about a SAST. It is a static code analysis which is used by using a SonarQube. What it does, Sonar, because this one, what it will do, basically it will scan source code for security vulnerabilities before the build process. Okay. And also it will detect the bugs and security hotspot and best practice violations. So everything, whatever we write the code here, that code will get scanned thoroughly, and it will find out if there is any code smells, bugs, or security hotspots. Everything can be find out using this SAST. And also it supports multiple languages like a Java, Python, JavaScript, Go, and etc. Okay. So, but how this is what it does, right? Then how it is work, like as a developer, when you write the code, how it is going to work will be an important thing to know. As a developer, when you commit the code to, suppose a developer commits code to GitHub or GitLab, what SonarQube will do, SonarQube will runs automated scans on the code base, and immediately it will report the vulnerabilities or any issues, any injections like SQL injections or hard-coded secrets or weak encryptions, anything can be found out from the code repo, can be captured, and it will trigger that a report to the developer. Okay. For example, if a developer accidentally commits an API key or use an insecure function, SonarQube will flag it very immediately. Okay, that is the main use of SAST. So this is the new term you learned today, that is SAST, static code analysis. Now, next thing is your code is ready, and next thing is you have to do that code analysis. Okay, here we are going to learn about one more thing is SCA. SCA. What is this? Okay, SCA is a open source dependency scanning. Okay, that's a open source dependency scanning using a tool called Snyk. So what it does, for example, you have a third-party dependencies. So when you run your application, Java application, it will have a dependency with the third-party tools, right? So when time of using the third-party tools, this SCA has to scan this third-party dependencies. It has to scan the third-party dependencies for vulnerabilities. Okay, and also it will check your packages like a npm package, maven, pypy, docker images to find out any flaws, security flaws in that particular package. And it also provides a path recommendations for your vulnerability libraries. So this is what SCA will do. And how it will work is like, suppose when you have code committed, okay, when your code is committed to the GitHub, what Snyk will do? It will scan your, suppose if your code is a npm code like a node.js code, you have all your packages will be under package.json, correct? And if it is a Python, you will write all your requirements.txt, correct? So what Snyk will do, it will go and scan your package.json and requirements.txt, and it will identify dependencies with known vulnerabilities. Okay, if it is a known vulnerability, yes, because how it will know the known vulnerabilities, like we have a CVE. Okay, we have a code vulnerability environments. We are maintaining the database where we have all known vulnerabilities will be there, unknown vulnerabilities will be there. That will be a security threat. Like if you have any unknown vulnerability arranged when you are doing a code analysis or code build. Okay, and it also suggests fixes and version to your upgrade. So Snyk will scan your packages, and it will provide you the fixes and version upgrade if it is really required. For example, many apps we use nowadays, those are all open source libraries, as you know. So if a vulnerability version of, suppose a tool called or a log4j, if it is included, Snyk will flag it immediately. Okay, that is the beauty of the Snyk. So next thing is we are going to see about the one that is container security scanning. Okay, container security scanning using tool called Trivy. So what it will do? Okay, so it will scan your Docker container images for vulnerabilities before deployment. So in the name itself, it is telling you the container security scanning. Container requires an image before it is an image. So it will scan the Docker container images for vulnerability before doing a deployment. And also it will check for the OS packages and application dependencies inside that image. Okay, what it will do, the Trivy will do before pushing that images into your Docker registry. Okay, Trivy will scan your image, and it will identify the vulnerabilities, whether it is installed in libraries and OS packages. And it also provides a risk score and recommendation. The score, it has to be like 1 to 100, that will be rated for your image. Okay, now I hope it is connected. Just a second. Yeah. So the example for this Trivy is like when you are running a command scans against the Nginx Docker images for the known vulnerabilities. So that is the beauty for the Trivy application. So mainly till now, whatever we understand is Trivy for Docker image scanning. Snyk is for the OS, whatever the packages we are using for your application, that is used for that one. And what we used here is SonarQube, okay, for your static code analysis. Next, coming into the other one, that will a dynamic application security testing. So at time of testing, okay, at time of testing, what you have to do here is like the thing is dynamic. Here, this is a we call it as a shortcome DAST, dynamic application security testing, using a tool called OWASP. If you are familiar with the Spring Boot applications, you might aware of like what is OWASP. So what it will does is like it will simulates attacks on the running application to find out the vulnerabilities, and also it will identify the SQL injections and authentication flaws at time of testing. How it will work is like if you deploy an application to testing environment, this ZAP run do a penetration test. Okay, it will do a penetration test. We call it as a pen test in short term. It will do the pen test and it will test automatically and it will generate a report showing the security issues. For example, if a website is vulnerable to SQL injection, this ZAP will find out it by injection malicious queries. So that's the beauty of this DAST. Okay. Finally, we have one more security tool. We have it from the IAC. That is IAC, you know, right? Infrastructure as a code security. That tool name is called Sentinel. When you know about Terraform, as most of the people are aware of this Terraform, right? So Terraform Sentinel is like when you have your ISC code, Sentinel will scan your complete code and it will confirm all your .tf files are scanned and without any policy violations. Okay, and it will ensure your infrastructure security policies are enforced, and it will prevent misconfigurations in your if it is a cloud, AWS, GCP, and Azure before deployment. And technically, how it will work when you start your application, first you have to scan your Terraform files and all. It will scan it and it will tell you if there is any security policies violations will be in your Terraform code. And also, finally, when you are going with the Kubernetes deployment or it is in the cloud deployment, runtime security scanning is a critical one. So how it will work, like here we have a couple of tools called Falco. It's called Falco. And if it is coming under the cloud, we have a GuardDuty. GuardDuty. What is the function of this tool is like, it will detect the suspicious behavior in your Kubernetes container escaping, or you call it as a container escaping. Suppose if it is any suspicious behavior in the Kubernetes cluster. Okay, and the same thing we have it in the cloud, like GuardDuty, which will monitor your AWS for unusual access, or we call it as a brute force attacks will happen, malware attacks will happen. So those things and all will get monitored by using this GuardDuty. Okay, and how this tool will work, like Falco will monitor the logs and kernel events in the Kubernetes cluster. If it is an unexpected process runs inside a pod, for example, Falco will alert admins immediately. The same time, the GuardDuty is running it. Suppose if it is any unusual activity is happening, like for example, EC2 instance suddenly sending a large amount of data, it suddenly stopped working. So these things and all. Okay. So if an attacker, for example, if an attacker gains access to the container or runs a reverse shell to gain access to your cluster, Falco will immediately detects that and it raises an alert. Okay. So technically, when it comes into a real world examples, like for example, developers, just I will reverse this code again. Developers will commit the code to the GitHub. SonarQube will scan the code and Snyk will find out the vulnerability dependencies and Trivy. Okay, Trivy. Let me list down those again here for your better understanding. First thing is developers will commit the code, right? Once you commit the code, SonarQube will scans your code. Okay, scans your insecure code, if suppose, and Snyk will check for vulnerabilities, scanning, and Trivy scans for images, Trivy, Docker images scanning, and ZAP, it performs a test scanning. Okay, testing at the time of testing, we'll use this ZAP And fifth one is Terraform Sentinel for TF configuration scanning. And sixth one is runtime security. We have Falco and GuardDuty. So totally we have 6 things which will really help you to protect your DevOps security, DevOps process pipelines. Okay. So hope you understand this video, right? So this security should be a part of CI/CD from day one, and DevSecOps really prevents the breaches and compliance failures. Remember, guys, before doing a DevOps pipeline, security is a very important and very crucial piece, as I said in the beginning of the video. And automating the security with SonarQube, whatever I said, right? SonarQube, Snyk, Trivy, ZAP, Sentinel, Falco, and GuardDuty. So this is a very beautiful tools, and it is really helpful to secure your DevOps pipeline. So if you found this helpful, useful, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel and share your thoughts. What security tools do you use in your pipeline? Comment below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.